With Brock Purdy being one of the most polarizing topics in the NFL world right now, it's no surprise that Ryan Clark has been at the front of it all. Last week, he tore down all the walls and he said, you know what? I've been waiting for my opportunity to say I don't believe in Brock Purdy. And now I have my chance. I don't believe in him. He went on after the whole game against the Packers and basically said that I was just pretending to go along with the MVP hype because I had to. But now that he showed some imperfections against the Packers, I'm going to tell you how I really feel. And he let it all hang out, and he got cooked by a lot of people, a lot of fans, a lot of former media and former players for the opinion that he gave to switch up like that and be able to just like walk back basically the fact that any praise he gave Brock Purdy was because he had to. Well, of course, leading into the game against the Lions, he stood pat with that. We're going to take a look at what he had to say before the game, and then we're going to look at the switch up after the game. And I want you to kind of watch both, and I want you to judge how we should feel about Ryan Clark moving forward. But let's take a look at what he had to say before the Lions game.
You're going to come in here Monday morning. What's the first words going to be out of your mouth? How
they're going to do it because the one thing we don't talk about with the Lions enough is how well coached they are. We want to talk about biting kneecaps. We want to talk about biting faces off, as you heard Aaron Glenn. What this team does with Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn is they find ways to utilize who they have on their team as well as anyone in the entire league. When Brad Holmes drafted Jahmyr Gibbs at 12, I was like, what the hell are we doing? And then when he went and got Brian Branch, and then when he went and got Sam Laporta, I said, oh, I see what you're doing. And now you look at the way this team uses every single piece they have. They're very similar to the San Francisco 49ers offensively. And now defensively, it's about pressure. They'll give up yards, they'll bend, they won't break, and they want to turn you over. I believe there comes a point in this game where it's going to say, is Jared Goff more prepared for this moment and ready for this moment, or is Brock Purdy? And I think Jared Goff is going to be the guy that's ready for the moment.
So clearly, he thinks that Goff was going to go into that game and win and beat the San Francisco 49ers on their home turf. And hey, he played a really good game to start out. It just kind of simmered down on him a little bit, and the 49ers started getting stops on defense, and then they started playing really good complementary football, and it was kind of a tidal wave of momentum for the Lions, and they just couldn't recover from it after having all of it in the first half. Well, like I said, I wanted to show you the switch up. Now, after the game, and then we get it. Brock Purdy led a insanely good comeback and played really well in this game. But listen to Ryan Clark and what he had to say now after the game, and I want you to be the judge if we should believe him or not.
You know what really happened? What? Right? There was a kid that had an opportunity to step up down 17. And Brock Purdy understood that the magnifying glass was on him.
Sure.
And when the magnifying glass is on you, right, when the lights come on at the club at 2 a.m., all of your imperfections show. The people who are the most confident are the ones who are the most self-aware.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy was self-aware in the second half. Brock Purdy was 13 for 16, 174 yards. He rushed for 49 yards. Going into the Super Bowl now, he's accounted for 74% of the San Francisco 49ers offense. Yeah. You know who's closest to him? Patrick Mahomes, the person that he's playing. Brock Purdy said to himself, I'm going to revert back to what I know. And what I know is if he's open, I can hit him. What I know is if it's not open, my legs can get me a first down. What I also know is I know where everybody on this field is going to be. I know that my skilled players can make plays. I am going to give them opportunities to do so. Yeah. Here is what Brock Purdy did, in my opinion. What Brock Purdy did was separate himself from Tua Tagovailoa. He separated himself from Dak Prescott. He separated himself from Justin Herbert. He separated himself from Kirk Cousins. All of these people can put up numbers. The things that will echo in the eternity of football is what you do at this time of the year.
Yeah.
how you stack up against the best in the world. And to me, I looked at him and I said, you execute well within this offense. What did you do without Deebo Samuel? What did you do against the #1 defense? What did you do in the first playoff game? He couldn't have been in a worse position that he made the best position for a proving ground of why he's the franchise quarterback. He did every single thing you have to do to win a championship football game. And for all that Dan Campbell did, for all that the Detroit Lions did, if this kid doesn't step up and be the absolute best player in Santa Clara yesterday, we aren't having this discussion anyway.
Ryan Clark has a lot of nice things to say about Brock Purdy. Like, oh, he's better than Tua now, huh? He's better than Dak. He's better than Justin Herbert. Oh, I don't believe you, pal. Again, it is what it is. We understand that certain people in the media will say their honest opinion, good, bad, or indifferent, and then others just kind of flow with the wind. And he's already admitted to us that that's kind of what he was doing earlier in the season, showed his true colors, got a ton of pushback, stayed on point with it heading into the game, and now out of the game, Brock Purdy's better than Justin Herbert. I see, like, this is where it's like, at least from our perspective as 49er fans, how do we take anything Ryan Clark has to say objectively or in a way where we think he's being honest? I don't think he's being honest. I think he's yet again being forced to say this, or he's putting on an act. Or like he unfortunately showed, like, and again, he should have been like that from the very beginning, but he didn't, and he waited for an opportunity to reveal how he truly felt, and then it ultimately has backfired on him. And of course, if Brock Purdy loses that game, if the 49ers lose that game, who do you think is going to be at the front of the line calling the 49ers frauds and Brock Purdy a fraud? It would be Ryan Clark. So, yes, the function of the game was that Brock played a hell of a game in the second half, came back and won it. But again, that doesn't change the fact that we know how you really feel, Ryan. So that my perception of it, again, is one, I don't really care all that much to begin with about Ryan Clark's comments anyways. But again, trying to make sense of these talking heads and getting beat over the head with all their opinions and comments, I care even less now. And I wanted to make a video showing you why I don't care and why you shouldn't care either. And from here on out, whatever Ryan Clark has to say about Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers, it's just going to fall on deaf ears. Don't need to give it attention. Don't need to give it a reaction. We'll just be like, all right, Ryan, sure, whatever you have to say. But we're on to the next. We got bigger and better things to go after. But what's your take on it? What do you think? Are you thinking that we should care? Does he deserve some recognition for giving Brock his recognition? I'm curious to see what you guys think about this. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.